The Baltimore Ravens, people, you guys need to pay attention to this team. This is potentially one of those teams that could come out of nowhere and end up knocking off Kansas City. They are that good of a team. And you want to know what makes Baltimore a different team this season than what they have been in the past? Greg Roman was previously their offensive coordinator. And if you've been watching the Ravens over the last couple of years, since Lamar Jackson's second season, they've been a run-heavy team that runs a lot of tight end sets, 2, 3 on the field at a time. And they don't really do a great job at emphasizing getting the ball to their wide receivers. That's why Mark Andrews was able to thrive, and that's why the tight ends always do really good in Baltimore, because Greg Roman loves to utilize tight ends. 3 tight end sets are like 4 wide receiver sets to him and his philosophy on offense. So they had to go away from Greg Roman because although Lamar Jackson was having a lot of success under Greg Roman, he reached the point where he kind of needed somebody who could get him to the next level. And Greg Roman, a big knock on him is that he doesn't really do a good job at developing elite passing concepts. He's really good with mobile quarterbacks, but when it comes to developing them as passers, he's really underwhelming in that department. It was a big criticism with him when he was the OC for the 49ers, and it was the same criticism that the Bills had with him as well. And Tyrod Taylor was a Pro Bowler under him. Lamar Jackson needs an offensive coordinator that's going to elevate him to a different level as a passer. Lamar Jackson can throw the ball at a really high level. He may not throw the best looking ball every time. It may not be a tight spiral, but he can get the ball there. And with his new offensive coordinator, which his name is Todd Monken is going to bring a different dynamic to this Ravens offense that the Ravens haven't had in their whole entire franchise history. When's the last time the Ravens had 2 or 3 solid wide receivers? They got OBJ in free agency. They drafted Zay Flowers. You guys seen Joystick in preseason. This dude was fantastic. He was getting comparisons to Antonio Brown. Elusive, incredible speed, incredible route runner. Doesn't really get jammed up on the line too often. Him and Lamar, they're going to hit it off, and they already been hitting it off so far throughout preseason and training camp. Odell Beckham Jr., we know what he could have done in the Super Bowl if he would have stayed healthy. And even when he was playing for the Browns, it's not like he was boo-boo. It's not like he was garbage. He didn't do anything. When he was healthy, he was still a 1,000-yard receiver. Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most talented wide receivers to ever play in the NFL. Believe it or not, in the first 3 years of his career, he was having a Hall of Fame kind of trajectory. And then the injuries hit him, and then he kind of fell off. But if OBJ stays healthy, he probably should be in the conversation for Comeback Player of the Year. The Ravens are one of those franchises that just know how to get a lot out of players who it may seem like they're past their prime. You remember Steve Smith? When he had left the Carolina Panthers and went to the Ravens, people thought that Steve Smith didn't have anything left, and he was the Ravens' best receiver. The Ravens have not been a franchise historically that has spent a lot of money or a lot of time when it comes to receiver. The NFL has changed now. It's not the early 2010s anymore where you can win with having good tight ends and okay wide receivers. You can't win with an old Anquan Bolden and Torrey Smith anymore. You need to have some solid wide receivers who can be dynamic, and that's what the Ravens have. We're not even talking about Rashad Bateman. He's not a bust. It's just that he struggled to stay healthy, but when he's been on the field, he has shown some flashes. You got Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and with Todd Monken calling the plays, he's going to elevate this passing attack. He's not just this college offensive coordinator. There's a narrative that I've had some people throw at me when I try to sell them on Todd Monken being able to elevate this offense, and they say those college coaches don't work, JT. Do you not know that Mike McDonald, the Ravens defensive coordinator, was the defensive coordinator for Michigan? He was a college coach, and he was really good last season. The Ravens had a top 10 defense. I'm pretty sure that Todd Monken is going to do perfectly fine as the OC for the Ravens. This isn't his first rodeo in the NFL. He was also the OC for the Browns. Baker Mayfield's second season under Freddie Kitchens, even though he didn't call the plays, people were begging for Freddie Kitchens to allow Todd Monken to call some plays. His final season, when he was the OC for Dirk Cutter, his final year in Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick under him led the best passing attack in the NFL that year statistically. The Ravens with Todd Monken now are going to have the ability to throw the football at an efficient level in the postseason. To win in the playoffs, you got to be able to throw the football. It's a passing league. You can't use the whole old school, or you still got to run the football to win games. It's 2023 now. Y'all got to get with the times. If you can't throw the football with 2 minutes left and you're down 7 and you need a touchdown to take the game into overtime, you need to be able to throw the football with the game on the line. Running the football can only get you so far if you don't have a quarterback that can come through for you in big moments throwing the football, and Lamar Jackson has struggled with that in the playoffs. The Ravens now, with Todd Monken as their offensive coordinator and giving Lamar Jackson a legitimate supporting cast, are one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL this year. Lamar Jackson, behind Patrick Mahomes, is probably the scariest player in the NFL. The way that these NFL players talk about Lamar Jackson, this dude is God on the football field. The way he's able to get from 0 to 100 in a snap of a finger, his open field elusiveness makes him incredibly hard to stop if you're a defensive back. He can embarrass you and put you on the highlight reel. It's really hard to defend Lamar Jackson when he's playing at his best and when he's able to be a true dual threat quarterback. When he's healthy, the Ravens have a winning record and they normally are around the 1 or 2 seed. Every single time Lamar Jackson has gotten injured, the Ravens have went from being a top team in the AFC to barely making it into the playoffs. Lamar Jackson, under Todd Monken's tutelage, should be back in the MVP conversation this year. Lamar Jackson, if he can play at an MVP level this year, this is a Ravens team that is capable of being able to go on the road and beat Kansas City, knock off Joe Burrow and company in the AFC, beat the New York Jets. They've been one of the best teams in the NFL when Lamar Jackson has been healthy. And now that he has an offensive coordinator that's going to elevate this passing attack and the same supporting cast that guys like Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes have had, Lamar Jackson now has all the keys to take the Ravens to the Super Bowl. This is a dangerous team. Not only can they win this division, but they possibly could win the AFC. Todd Monken changes everything for the Baltimore Ravens. You guys need to pay a lot of attention to who's going to be calling the plays for the Ravens this year. This is not the same offense that you saw last year.